It is about 2 in the afternoon on October 3rd. Didn't feel like making a video yesterday. Wasn't in a great state of mind. Had a midterm that I had to study for as well. Figured it would maybe be better to kind of let my thoughts cool off a bit. Before talking about the Red Sox getting shut out for nothing and being knocked out of the playoffs. I mean, it sucks. We knew this team wasn't gonna, win it all or anything. Roman Anthony goes down and you're like, this team's not gonna win a World Series without Roman Anthony. You lose Giolito, you're like, are we even gonna make it out of the divisional round? But to lose to the Yankees after winning Game 1 in the Bronx, it's just a deflating feeling. And people are going to be quick to blame Cora. They're going to be quick to blame Connolly early. Neither of them deserve the blame. Connolly pitched fine. He got unlucky. He really didn't allow any hard contact other than that ball to Stanton, which didn't even result in a run being scored. But the defense, they're the worst defense in the league. They made more errors than the Rockies, than Chicago, than any other team. They let Connolly early down. Just got unlucky with the batted ball luck. I think the Volpe single, which knocked in 2 runs, that ball had a 170 expected batting average. He just got lucky. He found the gap. He poked it through. But when you have situations where, Cedon and Willier, who are both probably going to win a Gold Glove, can't communicate on catching that ball. And the Braves spoke after the game, and he said, yeah, we couldn't communicate. It was just too loud at Yankee Stadium. And I'm like, the big moment's kind of getting to their head then. The crowd's totally getting into it, and it apparently had an impact on the game, because that was what sparked, that's what sparked all their run scoring that inning. And, it's easy to blame Duran, too. Duran just had an atrocious series, both offensively and defensively. He's not going to catch the ball that Giancarlo, smoked, but he was jogging towards it. And then he made a very half-assed throw to the cutoff man. And I'm like, if you either run towards it or you make a proper throw, there's no way that Giancarlo is going to reach second base. And I don't care that that didn't have an impact on the game in the end, because in the moment, you should still be making an effort to make a play. The other thing is, I don't think Cora really needs to get much of the blame here. It really was on the defense. Cora did what he could. He kind of pushed all his eggs in the basket in Game 2. And it didn't work then, but I still don't have too much of a problem with how he managed the series. I think ultimately the offense failed to produce. They got completely shut down by Cam Schlittler, and the defense didn't do much to help either. And you have to give it to the Yankees, because you thought the Yankees were going to be the team to not play fundamental baseball. And they did. Volpe played really good defense. Jazz made a few really good plays. And those are the two guys you're used to seeing completely boot the ball away on routine outs. But ultimately, it's hard to win when you've got one dominant pitcher and the rest of your rotation is completely in question. I think there are a surprising number of questions moving forward, even though we're not likely to find much turnaround on this roster between years. The big things you're going to see are what will happen with Bregman. Is he going to opt out? Hopefully not. I'd like to think that he wants to stay here in Boston. Story theoretically could opt out, but I find that very unlikely to happen. I think he kind of feels like he might owe it to the team after not playing the first 3 years of his contract, for the most part. I think maybe Fine Story moves to second and you have Marcelo Meyer play shortstop. Even then, though, Meyer's a platoon bat. He, even in the minor leagues, could not hit well off of lefties, which means that will be a thing you have to figure out. The outfield, I really don't see a position in which there's room for Jarren Duran on it if this is the kind of play that we're going to be seeing from him in the postseason. If we have a healthy Yoshida to DH, then I would much rather see Cedon Rafaela, Willier Abreu, and Roman Anthony man the outfield. You've got 2 Gold Glovers between those 3, and the third could be, a top 10 top 5 player in baseball because he's Roman Anthony. As for the rotation, you can't do this with only Crochet. Next year the Yankees are going to be marching out a rotation with Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and Cam Schlittler. And all three of those guys could put up, a sub-3 ERA. And you're not getting Tanner Houck next year. There's a very low probability he'll be back for next year. You've got Crochet, who, good, top 3 pitcher in baseball, love that we have him. Brian Bayo, he looked like a true number 2 for most of the year, but in September, that kind of raises questions towards his longevity, especially when, the innings really start to rack up towards the end of the year. And then other than that, Cutter Crawford, he's a good number 3, number 4. I think Connolly Early's earned a spot in the rotation. He's pitched really well. And then what else do you do? Hunter Dobbins maybe. I think Peyton Tolley will begin in AAA. He's got a few things to work on with his non-fastball offerings. But it really feels like the team at least needs to trade for a number 2 pitcher to really feel like a potent force in the postseason. I don't know if that could be Joe Ryan. I don't know if that could be someone else. If it is Joe Ryan, you do have to realize he's going to hit free agency very soon, and you're probably going to have to give up quite a bit to get him. It really does raise a lot of questions about what the team will do going forward, but I expect Breslow to be unhappy with the ultimate outcome of how we lost in the playoffs, and I expect him to act accordingly and to make some moves that impress everyone during the offseason, that make us feel like we are going to get further than the wild card round. The Yankees will be good next year. They're getting their ace back, even though they had a completely different ace this year who they will still have next year. And, the Blue Jays are there too. The Rays can always surprise you. I think the Orioles are going to be bad again. They do not have pitching. They have Trevor Rogers. That was kind of it, though. But hopefully the team will be able to impress you more next year. And I think that's kind of all my thoughts I have now. Just want to get everything out. Surprised I kept it under 10 minutes. And I think next week I'll probably be putting out just more comprehensive tier list, just breaking down everyone who played on the Red Sox this year and how well they did. Everyone, from people who played 159, 160 games like Trevor Story, to people like, Robert Stock and Michael Fulmer, who you probably did not remember even playing a game for the team this year. But I think that's all I have for now, and just gotta move on to next year and hope that Toronto can get the job done against the Yankees.